Oh, so my name is Herschel Wade, and I've been at the Church of the Redeemer since December 1st. So I'm originally from California. I grew up in the Bay Area, and then also in Sacramento. So I grew up in Northern California. I went to school and was raised in California. Went to college, San Luis Obispo, and graduate school in San Francisco. But then I left to the East Coast, and became a professor at Johns Hopkins and in Baltimore. But my life changed some, and that's when I received the call to the priesthood. And that took some time to accept that call. And after accepting that call, I went to seminary. I graduated from seminary last May. And how did I end up here? So So when you graduate from seminary, you get you're supposed to give your diocese sort of first dibs, and so because they've raised you up and supported you. But I was unable to find a call that fit me in Maryland, and I spent the summer trying to figure out what I was going to do and where I was going to go. And I had a good friend that housed me for a summer, and she told me that this call is difficult. And call is real, and I was in the wilderness for a while, but then I got this call from this man named Phil, talking about this wonderful congregation that was growing and bubbling and undergoing transformation, and that he wanted someone like me to be a part of it. And after visiting Church of the Redeemer, it was hard to say no. Well, my favorite thing about the Church of the Redeemer is the congregation. Here, I have never seen a congregation with all the hands on deck. And this is a congregation that has all hands on deck. And they have all hands on deck in prayer, all hands on deck in Bible study, all hands on deck in worship, all hands on deck in education. And it's just all in. And I don't know, I don't think I've ever experienced a church where everybody was all in like they are here. You know, last night, I tell you, was something special for me. So we have Wednesday night service. Everybody knows we have Wednesday night service at 6 o'clock. And last night, or yesterday, was the feast day of Julian of Norwich. And this service is, this is a set of people who are dedicated to this service. But at the end of my homily, we did this body prayer, which required people to stand up, or you can sit down. There's a lot of hand movements. People can feel silly, but no. All hands on deck. I just said, you can stand up or sit down. Everybody jumped up. And we went through the prayer 3 times, and the third time was just as intentional and intense as the first time. And I remember last night I was laying in bed and just thinking about gratitude and going over the list of gratitudes. And that service and those people popped in my head. And that just, I didn't know how grateful I was for that moment with them. And when everybody was leaving the service, they asked about Julian of Norwich, and they asked for references. And that service was a very special moment for me. Woo! I see so much. So Phil has such a great vision. He's such a visionary, and the staff here, oh my gosh, the staff here is phenomenal. And I didn't want to talk about all hands on deck. The staff and the clergy, we have our hands on deck, and we want to move this church to be exactly what God wants it to be. and to participate with God and the reconciling of humanity to God's self. I see this church transforming in ways that we will see everything like that happen in our ministries, in our education, in our outreach, in our own transformations. I just see a church so willing to give everything they've got to what God wants them to do. And I can't say specifically what I see Redeemer doing, because I feel like I'm still learning about the congregation. But I see big things, and I see this church doing wonderful, substantial things in this city, and within themselves.